Okay, I'm Jason Botchford, and we're starting a new segment here. Originally, these guys wanted to call this Ask Botch. Kind of made me sick to my stomach. I was nauseated with the idea of this hashtag going out there, Ask Botch. They wanted me to tweet that. That made my skin crawl. So we're left with this, which is essentially the Provies report, and hopefully I'll be able to like a director on your Blu-ray, go over what happened in the Provies. And I'm going to try to stay on topic. Nothing drives me more crazy than being on podcasts, like here at the Province, where we're there to talk about hockey, and they start talking to me about children's books and stamps, things I want nothing to do with, I don't want to talk about. If it's a 20-minute podcast, I want to be there, I want to be on topic. I even tuned into the Pass It to Boulis podcast there. I like the Daniel Wagner, and with all the tailwind that Harrison Mooney had been getting, I was wondering, is this guy going to keep up with that whole asshole persona he had going? And I tune in, and they start talking about their favorite sketch from Saturday Night Live the night before. I don't want to hear about these guys missing Bill Hader. I don't want to hear them talking about breaking down Sarah Silverman's monologue at the beginning of it. Imagine if I tuned into a TV Guide podcast or a comedy podcast, and they start breaking down the Canucks power play. It doesn't work that way. Now, here I am being the asshole off topic again, so I should be back on the Provies, and I thought it was a good debut. We've done one already, and the big punch I wanted was the Ryan Kesler segment in that one, and you know, I kind of scooped myself in training camp because I let that story out, and there was a day I wanted to save it, but there was a day in training camp where I really didn't have another story. It kind of dried up, so I had to kind of go with that one, and I kind of lacked the punch on day one that I'd been hoping for. But overall, I mean, people wanted me to go after Donnie Taylor because Donnie Taylor had been apparently ripping the province for Canucks 101. I tuned into Taylor quite a few times. I didn't hear him ripping it. If he was ripping it, I would suggest that it was probably sour grapes that he wasn't included as being one of the panelists. Other people wanted me to get into my debate with P. Diddy there and Harrison Mooney getting fired and stuff, and I did look into that. You know what? I've seen a couple of things, and Mooney's been through more than enough. He doesn't need me going over that ground anymore. Though people here at my job told me if I did what he did, I too would be fired, and I just couldn't help but think that, you know, I would love to try that. I'd love if this was 15 years ago and I was single, because I would put that to the test right now. You know, what would you do? Who would do the Provies? Well, I guess we'll find out next week, because I'm away next weekend, and we're going to find out who would fill in for me in the Provies if I did what Harrison Mooney did and got fired. And that's your Provies report for this week.